Yo, what up guys? Welcome back to Patched.
Welcome back, and today we got a big comparison for you guys.
Yes.
So the long-awaited Model O Minus versus the Ultralight 2 by Finalmouse.
So a lot of you guys were confused as to in our versus video of the Model O versus the Ultralight 2. We're like, where's the Model O Minus? Is this the Model O Minus? You know?
Yeah. We are not yet big enough to receive review units for things like these yet. So we had to wait for the shipping on them. So we got both of these guys in.
And we tested them.
Now we tested them.
And
ready for the
here's
comparison.
your review. So the Finalmouse Ultralight 2 is $120 freaking. Super expensive, especially for a piece of glass. They probably make this for like $20, you know,
Yeah.
$10. The Model O Minus is very, very good with their price, $50, very competitive price. So which one is better? So let's get it started off with the shape.
So shape, honestly, they look very, very similar. The Finalmouse is actually smaller. It's going to be a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Similar shape, even the glides on the bottom, very similar, 4 corners there.
So as far as length goes, the Model O seems like it's around 5 millimeters longer. The width is pretty much the same though. So if you like to have a narrow mouse, they're both good. Easier to grip. At the bottom of the mouse, the width-wise, the Model O Minus is around 2 to 3 millimeters wider. So the arch is pretty much the same. It's 35 millimeters tall at the arch on the Ultralight 2, and then the Model O Minus is 36 millimeters tall. So pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Besides, I guess it's just the length. It's a little bit longer on the Model O Minus. So as far as fingertip grip goes, the Model O Minus fills up your hand a little bit more, especially on the bottom half of your palm.
Definitely.
And then the Ultralight 2, just, you don't feel it at all.
Since it's so small,
Yeah.
when you're fingertipping it, it never hits the back of your palm, like all the way at the back there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. It takes a little bit of extra getting used to, I would say, just because it's a level of like tiny mouse that we're not used to yet in the gaming world.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes some getting used to, but it's still very, very solid.
So Lucas uses palm grip for gaming, and which one feels better for you?
Definitely the Model O Minus. Just because it's a hair longer, so it's gonna be a little bit easier to palm. You're definitely gonna be using arm aim with this. You're not gonna be aiming with your wrist. It's gonna be really uncomfortable, and your palm is gonna be touching the mouse pad, so it's gonna give extra friction.
Yeah.
The Finalmouse, there's no way to palm this. There's just it's too small.
I mean,
you're gonna have to fingertip it.
Yeah. If you have a really small hand, you can palm it, but like for most people, you're not gonna be able to palm. Or I mean, you can, but it's just really uncomfortable. You know, it doesn't really fill up your palm. Like most people that have palm grip like to have a really thick arch. You know, very arch that fills up the hand a lot. You know?
Like an ergonomic style mouse.
Exactly. You know? If you look at it from the bottom and the shape, everything seems pretty much the same besides the length. So that all depends on what you like to feel on the bottom of your palm. But to be honest, for me, I kind of like feeling nothing. And so I got used to the Ultralight too. So. Yeah,
honestly, I would say both of these are very comfortable. At least with the Model O Minus, you're gonna have the option of potentially palming it.
That's true.
But with the Finalmouse, the Ultralight 2, there's no way. For me, I can't do it. I would have to fingertip it, which is actually not a terrible thing.
Yes.
It feels good in the hand still. Moving on to weight, so the Ultralight 2 is very light, weighing in at 47 grams.
But we weigh like 49 and 50 grams.
Yep, that's what it gets. With the cord. But honestly, I still picked this up and thought it was fake.
Yes.
Like it feels so ridiculously light.
Yeah. The Model O is let's actually get an exact weight on this.
So on their website it says 58 grams for the matte version, 59 grams for the glossy version, and a plus or minus of 1 pound.
Yeah, 58 grams. Model O, the Glorious does not lie. Like 3 to 4 ounces. To me, it's negligible. It's really like I can't feel the difference.
Yeah.
They're both really light. You know?
They're both extremely light.
Yeah.
I mean, I can feel the little extra weight on here.
You can?
But
really?
Yeah, I can definitely feel the extra weight. But
interesting.
It's still, they're both crazy light. Either way, if you're looking for a light mouse, there is no wrong way to go here. Like they're both going to be very, very solid.
Yes. And as far as glides go, they look pretty much the same. They're both on the 4 corners of the mice, and they're both white. So it kind of reminds me of Hyperglides. It's Hyperglide-like, and they're both really smooth. But for some reason, I don't know, the Model O, actually, I feel like on the actual Model O, since it's a little heavier, it kind of slides a little bit more when we do this test. But like, since the Model O Minus is a lot lighter, maybe that's why it doesn't slide as much. But like, comparing these two, it feels pretty much the same.
Yeah, it feels very similar.
Yeah.
on the larger version of the Model O, we were saying that's some of the best hyperglides or hyperglide-like skates that we've seen on mice. Honestly, these two feel very, very familiar.
Yes.
And then the sensor, of course, they're both using the 3360 sensor. Feels identical, both pinpoint accurate. No discrepancies there as far as the sensor goes. And then moving on actually to the buttons.
Ooh.
Now the buttons were a big one for the Finalmouse. The Ultralight 2 has the best feeling and sounding buttons, in my opinion.
Mouse 1 and 2 buttons,
on the market.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, so the Model O for me, like, when I use it, it feels awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like, oh, these are nice, you know? I would say travel distance is a little bit less on the Model O, but it's just like, I don't know what it is. Maybe the spring is a little bit stronger, so it kind of like rebounds back a little bit faster.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's why the Model O feels a little bit mushier, but like, you know, coming from the Ultralight 2 to this it feels a little mushy. Obviously, you get used to this. These are nice buttons, but these are super nice.
Just the Model O minus, like we're looking at like standard mouse buttons. Like we've used Razer mice, we've used Logitech. I mean, it's all like very, very similar in the button feel. But the Ultralight 2 was the first one that really stood out from the crowd there, where we're like, whoa, that's actually different.
Yeah. So the side buttons, of course, they're really small mice. The Ultralight 2 has slightly bigger buttons, but your thumb is always pretty much, you know, covering them up. As far as the button feel goes, this travel distance is around the same, actuation force is around the same. They're both really easy to press. I would say the Ultralight 2 is a little bit more protruded out, but other than that, pretty much the same feel. The DPI button is a little bit bigger as well on the Ultralight 2, but that doesn't really matter. The scroll wheel is a lot better though on the Model O, in my preference, in my opinion, you know, right? You
yeah,
too?
and something to note with the buttons, the Ultralight 2 does not have software. So without going to a third party, you cannot rebind the side buttons or the DPI button at all. So without third party software, you could not do that.
Yes.
Model O has their own software, their software, and you can rebind all that, add macros and things like that. So that's just something to note. Just something to add on there, because it is nice to have. Some people do prefer to have that.
So as far as like buttons and scroll wheel, so scroll wheel, I like the Model O better, but there are people that like never use a scroll wheel when they're gaming. But the mouse 1 and 2 buttons feel a lot better, or just a little bit better in the Ultralight 2.
So moving on to the next one, the cord. So the cord on both of these, I would say, feels invisible. So there's minute differences, and we're going to get nitpicky here just because we have to. We're comparing the two. But honestly, when you're using both of them, you won't feel it. You don't really need a bungee at all. Both of them are paracord. The Model O minus, I will say, has this really nice sort of loose cording on there. It just moves around very easily. So with the Ultralight 2, you'll notice it moves around a little bit when I move the cord, and that's mainly just because it's very light.
You'll notice that the Ultralight 2 doesn't really have a lot of space between the paracording and the actual like copper wires or whatever is inside. There's a lot of space in the Model O, you know, so I feel like that's what makes it a little bit easier. And also like the weaving on the paracord seems a little bit tighter in the Finalmouse. So, but obviously you're not gonna notice either when you're gaming. But like the Model O mine is just incredible.
Yeah,
you know, I love that.
I'll give the up on this one to the Model O minus. But again, both of these, you won't be able to feel them. You don't need a bungee with either of them. So moving on to the next category, which is going to be build quality / durability. Generally with both of these, great build quality, very, very solid. They both feel premium, which is good. The only thing to note on the Model O minus is that there's a slight button wobble still, not nearly as bad as the Model O, but still noticeable. It's still on there.
And also for the finish on the plastic, there is a little bit of a very fine, like coarse texture. You know, it's like super smooth. It's still like super smooth, but like on the Ultralight, there's like no texture on it. It's just really, really smooth. Yeah. So like I would say the Model O is a little bit like, you know, they're both grippy. You know, because like this feels like it's a little glossy, has that kind of like glossy finish to it. So that still makes it glossy, but it just feels a little bit different in hand. So I just want to note that. And also, neither of these really pick up a lot of fingerprints. So
yeah, they both feel good. And then, importantly also, they both look good.
Yeah.
The Model O minus does have RGB though, whereas the Finalmouse 0 RGB.
I don't care.
But the
about
colors
RGB,
are sick.
Yeah, I like this.
Colors are sick. I actually like this.
Yeah.
Usually I wouldn't go for something like this color, but I mean, It looks nice.
Wrapping things up, obviously if you're trying to save money, go with the Model O minus. It's still a solid option, probably the best bang for your buck mouse that you can get right now. But if you're not considering price, you just want the overall better mouse, I don't know, man, like they're both really dope. But the thing that gets me is that I don't really like the button wobble, especially when I'm like, tracking. When I'm playing, when I'm tracking, I notice it. But other than that, the only thing that's better about the Model O to me is the scroll wheel, and that's not like huge difference because the Finalmouse is still pretty nice.
Yeah.
And then the small feel of the Finalmouse, once you get used to it, you just feel like super in control when you're fingertipping, you know? So for me, I would pick the Ultralight 2 by just a hair. Yeah. That's what I would prefer, but do you like the Model O minus, or what do you like?
I really like both of them. So I would actually stick with the Finalmouse, the Ultralight 2. This is a really comfortable mouse to use for me. I love this. I didn't think I was going to like it as much, and at first I actually didn't like it because of how small it was, but it really grew on me once I got used to it.
Yeah.
The Model O minus, it's still a very good mouse.
Yes.
I would still definitely use this. I just find myself liking the Ultralight 2 just a bit better.
Yes.
For my personal needs.
Yeah, so obviously this is all preference, and you know, everyone's preferences are different and everyone's hand shape is different as well. So just keep that in mind and take the comparison with a grain of salt. But that's our review. Hope he helped you guys out, and we'll see you guys next one.
See you in the next one.